Welcome to War Thunder with Subdued. How y'all doing? Today we're going to be taking a look at the MB-162 frontline bomber, which I really think should be classified as a decent medium bomber, even with 4 engines. Let's take a good look at this beastie. The wings are basically made of fuel tanks. You've got so much gasoline in those tanks that this plane can obviously stay in the air for a long period of time. Most matches are less than 60 minutes, so taking a minimum load, which ends up being a little bit over an hour's worth, is a-okay. Let's take a look at the engines. 14-cylinder Gnome Rhone 14N48. Well, it's what France had to work with. The Gnome Rhone engines may be reliable, they may be rugged, but they are not powerful. Normal max power 774 horsepower with 1013 takeoff horsepower. Not exactly super stellar, but it's still enough to carry this plane along at a pretty decent clip. It'll do about 260 miles an hour up in the sky. The armor is non-existent. There is none. The plane will take massive amounts of damage as long as somebody gets behind it and is willing to soak up the 20 millimeters that this thing has top and bottom. Other than that, it's a fairly decent plane. Its bomb load is a little bit odd. 6 100 kilogram bombs and 6 200 kilogram bombs, or 4 500 kilogram bombs. I'm not sure whether it will be able to take out 2 bombing targets with the 500 kilogram bombs. 2 on each bombing target. But it does take out at least 1 with the 12 other bombs. It's got 2 7.5 millimeter machine guns on the sides, waist gunners. If you want to use those, go with the APTs or the armored targets, but I would go with the APTs. That way your gunner knows what you know where the bullets are going. The 20 millimeters, you could go with armored targets, but it isn't really going to make a lot of difference. Universal would probably be better, because you've got those high explosive fragmentation incendiaries. And if you really want to, going along with the default should be good enough. HEFI, practice shell, and a tracer. As long as you got 2 explosive rounds hitting the target, it'll do a lot of damage. And no matter what some people think, a practice round will punch a hole right through a plane. So you could probably punch a hole through a gas tank or an engine or a windshield and do some major damage. But overall, I like the design of the plane. The plane is beautiful. The lack of forward firing armament is kind of annoying because if somebody can get up to your altitude, they can hit on you if you allow it. But even if you don't allow it, they'll be able to dance around you because this plane is slow maneuvering. It's good plane though. I like the design. It's a beautiful design. First time I flew it out, I was thinking of the Halifax a bit. But it's not as big as the Halifax. And it doesn't carry as many bombs as the Halifax. And those 20 millimeters have a very limited arc of fire. So that can be a bit of a wicket if you're trying to get on a dancing fighter behind you. And believe me, they're a royal pain in the butt. And you go through your 120 rounds of ammunition really quick. And until you get the guns upgraded, they are like a shotgun. They do not, well, your rounds don't go in a stream. They kind of go out in a shotgun pattern. So just be mindful of that until you get the cannon upgrades. Let me see, what is that? Go back to modifications. And it reduces the spread by 14 feet at 500 meters. So take your cone of dispersion and drop 14 feet out of it. So, and that distance, that can be a lot. That can miss the bodies of many planes, especially if they're trailing right up your tail feathers. So getting that upgrade, which happens to be a number 4, tier 4 upgrade, is pretty important to your defense. Otherwise, if you're going to fly this plane when you first get it, my advice, and you can take it or leave it, is if it's a small map, rush the bases, turn around quickly, and get the heck out of there. If it's a big map, turn away from the bases. Fly off to the side, come in from the enemy bases at a different angle, and by that time, maybe you've gotten a couple of damaged bases, take them out. If there's one left, take it out completely by yourself. Your bomb load will take out a base. Other than that, like I said, it's a beautiful plane. I like the lines. It's very sleek. It seems to do very well in a dive, unlike its predecessor. I forget what that one is. The Leo 451 Early. Leo 451 Early does not like to go very fast at all. 302 miles an hour? Yeah. You start bringing that thing down in a dive and you get up to about 310 miles an hour and you start redlining. It does not like to go beyond the max speed. But like I said, it's a beautiful plane. It flies well. It's not a Halifax, even though that was my first impression. But I like it. It's a pretty plane. and it will make grinding out tier 3 and then working on tier 4 a bit less painful because I like flying some planes. I'm just not going to make a whole lot of money on this plane. Ah well. Let's get into a match. Doing is I'm taking the aircraft out over the ocean so that I can come in from the ocean and take the bombing targets 1, 2, 3. Not that I have a prerequisite number of bombs to be able to take them all out, but it looks like I've got at least one other, possibly 2, I'm not sure, bombers out there. Whatever they take, I do believe it. I am not going to directly challenge the fighters against them. Alright, we're turning a little bit to go up the coast. And as you can see, this plane is heavy. It does swallow a bit after you do a turn. But it steadies out and becomes very stable again. It's an elegant plane. I like it. It just has a very graceful line. Gun blisters remind me a lot of the Buckle FW200. Only the 2 blisters are definitely much heavier with 20mm. Like I said, they do not do well. Donair 217 came within detection range. Hopefully somebody will jump on him. Bring it around to the west. And there are a boatload of them. Looks like my cohort in crime got one of them. Looks like it cost him 2. Maybe not. There he is. Oh, please don't come get there from 20,000 feet. And drop. Alright, now it's a matter of finding my airfield again. That is a long ways away. I got a long way to go down. And we'll pause here in a moment because it's long, it's boring, and there isn't a whole lot to talk about on the way down. Unless somebody comes up behind me, and at that point I will re-engage the well, we've got company, and not in a good way. It looks like he's on his way out of the area. Maybe. Yep, looks like he wanted to go play somewhere else. I think he understood that I would drag his butt right in to the black trap around the airfield. Now, landing this thing, we've decided that we don't need any really good airfields on some of these maps. And it is annoying at best to land because landing requires a little bit of distance and it's a 4-engine bomber. It's a small 4-engine bomber, relatively, but it's still a 4-engine bomber, okay? It doesn't like to slow down. There are times when you kind of wish that you didn't have a good coefficient of drag because sometimes it feels like the coefficient of drag is a little too high. Nope, don't like landing these things. Not on short fields like this. And some will say, it's not short. Well, it is to me. But it's a beautiful plane. I like it. I just wish it had a bigger bomb load. And 2000 2,000 kilograms isn't anything to sneeze at. But
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
we'll have to make do with what we have. Let's see what do we got out there. We got 2 fighters out there and 2 fighters and 2 bombers. So hopefully the Hellcat and the MB-157 can handle those 2 Messerschmitts or Focke-Wulfs, whatever they are. I'm going to go out and bomb it. See if I can bump past this one. Oh, Gaijin, you really need to take a good look at your interface because the interface keeps wanting to auto start everyone on the airfield, which is a pain. Right click the button. I wish you'd take the auto out. I think they're going to be coming for me. I'm going to get down low and push them into a tail chase. That's one down, and I didn't even shoot it. Oh well, I got 2 of them. Cost me my plane, but I got 2 of them. And we're going to win just by default. Yay! Not the type of victory you really want. Pyrrhic victory is what they call it. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It'll be a learning experience. 2 air targets, 1 critical hit, 6 hits, 1 landing, 1 takeoff, base bombing. Not bad. And I finished my fuselage repair. 1,942 research points on the plane. Vehicle research 2,757 towards the D520, which is kind of underwhelming, but it's a D520. I've already got one in the British tree. I don't know why Gaijin didn't just transfer the premium 520 over to the French line. It would have made a little bit of sense, and it would have given people a leg up without having to do other things. Yeah, you would have had to buy a plane to get into the early access of the French tree. But even with early access to the tree being limited to those that buy the $10 or $30 plane, transferring the D520 British over to the French line would have made a lot of sense. And we made 28,290 Silver Lions. Not bad. Not bad. My place was number 3 in the team. 2 kills. 0.716 tons of bombs dropped. Basically a base kill. And the Avenger Award. Well, like I said, this is a very good plane. Research, yeah. How many points? 1,600. I think I'd rather get the compressor right now. Alright. But, like I said, this is a pretty plane. I like it. It's nice flying. Again, it's got no armor, so if somebody gets behind you with a bunch of cannons, he's going to tear you apart. But you can do a number on them too, because you've got cannons. Use them. And they do rip the wings off from the German planes and whatever else comes at you. Well, this is Subdued out. Y'all take care. Have a better today and a awesome tomorrow. We'll catch you in the skies. Bye-bye.